Bro, what? Why? We're back at deadline. We're back at deadline, people. And there is some tomfoolery afoot. Some tomfoolery afoot. So let's take a look at this headline that popped up from Anthony Nash on Deadline, Thursday, November 7th, 2024. So I'm a little late, 5 days late, but it's okay. New Star Wars trilogy finds writer. Okay. That alone is kind of ridiculous, because we have 3 movies announced and supposedly in production. Okay, we've got James Mangold's Old Republic movie, which sounds incredibly good. Dawn of the Jedi sounds amazing. A beautiful premise. We've got a Rey movie that's supposedly in production, and supposedly they're working on a script, according to Daisy Ridley. But I mean, I don't know anything about that. And then, of course, we've got Dave Filoni's Mandalorian movie, which is supposedly like a combination, is supposedly like season 4, but released in theaters, like a Mandalorian and Grogu. That's what it's called. So we have 3 movies in production. So what do? They announce this, or it leaks at least. And Colin Cowherd always says that nothing leaks for no reason. Somebody leaked this on purpose. Like, they know who the leakers are, right? You know, they know who feeds the information out. And so they got the information to Deadline. So they're making a new Star Wars trilogy. It finds the writer. Which, I mean, that's just like, okay. So you haven't even thought about the script yet? Like, you are now you should not let it leak when you only have a writer. You should definitely wait for everyone to figure it out until you have a script. I feel like a script is pretty important in making a movie. And you should have a script before you, like, make the movie. But Disney doesn't know that. So then let's look at this next clause here. Won't focus on Skywalkers. Okay. So you're saying that you're making a Star Wars movie that's going to focus on anyone except the main characters of the past. Now, I'm not mad about this. In fact, I'm very excited. But a lot of people, for some reason, think that Star Wars is the story of the Skywalkers. And while 9 of the films, 9 is a stretch, while maybe 7 or 8 of the films are the stories of the Skywalkers, they're not really the main characters. How much of the prequels actually follows Anakin Skywalker? Some of it? I would say Obi-Wan is a more central character in the prequels. The Skywalkers are just the pivotal characters in the history of the universe. They are not Star Wars. You can have some of the best Star Wars without the Skywalkers. Rogue One, incredible. Leia's in it for like 15 seconds. Maybe 15 seconds. At the same time, you've got movies that have Skywalkers, and Skywalkers all over the place, and they're just like, you know? So, the Skywalkers do not make Star Wars. Star Wars makes Star Wars. And if this, because there's a million directions they could go with a non-Skywalker Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, for example. The Thrawn movie that we should get after Mandalorian and Grogu, which is going to kind of wrap up Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Mandalorian, all of those threads. Thrawn, hopefully, is going to be the central villain of that story. And we're going to get that movie as well. That's an example of a direction you could go. But just take a look at Legends, you know, and build something from it. You know, be creative. Like, we have Scoundrels, we have Jedi. There's a lot of interesting places you can go with a movie. So, especially if you're not limiting yourself to the Skywalkers. So let's take a look at the actual article itself, because this is just the headline, right? Let's take a look at the actual article here. A new Star Wars trilogy is officially on the horizon, with Simon Kinberg attached to write and produce the project for Disney, according to Deadline. Now, Simon Kinberg, who we'll talk about that in a second. So what do we know about the new Star Wars trilogy? Kinberg, who is best known for writing and producing films like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jumper, and a number of the 20th Century Fox X-Men films, will write all 3 films and produce them alongside Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy. So, Kathleen Kennedy said that she doesn't want to retire until she's coming off of a hit, which at least she's actually attempting to produce a hit. We haven't had a Star Wars movie in almost 6 years. And, she hasn't given herself a chance to go out on a hit in those 6 years, and I think it's widely agreed that Kathleen Kennedy is not helpful to Star Wars at all. Good businesswoman. Great producer in the 80s and 90s. But since she's taken over Star Wars, it's gone downhill in a lot of directions. So hopefully this can be, we're close to the end of the Kennedy reign. At the same time, Kinberg, he produced a number of the X-Men films, so I don't know which ones he produced, and I also don't know which ones are good. So if you'll put in the comments, is Simon Kinberg the producer of the good X-Men films or the bad ones? Because I know that some of them are really good and some of them are really bad, and hopefully it's the really good ones. Next paragraph. What's unclear as of now is just what the films will center on. Deadline's early report notes that the projects will be the continuation of the Skywalker saga and will be episodes 10 through 12 in the long-running story. However, reports from THR and other outlets have noted that these films will not be set in the Skywalker saga and will instead feature entirely brand new characters and a brand new story. So we're getting contradictions here. Deadline says it is Skywalkers. Everyone else says it's not. Like I said, I don't think it needs to be Skywalkers to be Star Wars. In fact, I think that it should not, because if you go Skywalkers, you're limiting yourself. What is this trilogy going to be about? Don't say that it's about the Skywalkers and then make it about Rey, because you will ignite the internet on fire, hating you. At the same time, what are you going to make a Shmi trilogy? Yeah, I don't know what the trilogy would be about. Next paragraph. Kinberg is no stranger to the world of Star Wars, having previously co-created Star Wars Rebels, incredible show, which ran for 4 seasons before ending in 2018 alongside Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck. He also served as a consultant on 2015's Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams, and received a thanks credit on 2016's Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So all 3 of those are good. Episode 7, bland. It was a really safe movie, and that's okay. They were not rebooting. They were awakening the franchise again. And Rogue One, like I said, incredible, best Star Wars since Kathleen Kennedy took over. A lot of people like Mandalorian better. I do think Rogue One is better. So that's just my take, throwing in a hot take there. And then obviously Star Wars Rebels is one of the best animated shows in existence. I believe I put it on my top 5 animated shows you need to watch list. I'm pretty sure it was just an honorable mention, but it was there. It was there. The Star Wars franchise has been dormant on the big screen ever since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. However, the franchise has seen several high-profile projects released on Disney+, including the hit series The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, and Ahsoka. Okay, only The Mandalorian was a hit series out of those. Andor. A lot of people loved Andor. Of these, it's just saying Star Wars stuff that has come out. Mando, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, Kenobi, Andor, and Ahsoka. I thought Kenobi wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. I thought Andor, I need to finish it, but it's really good. It feels a lot more like a Netflix show, or it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like, it's kind of nice because it's different. It's not like the whole action, quippy, comedy stuff that we're getting from Marvel, and even the D&D movie was like that. DC is trying to be like that a lot now too. it wasn't like that. It was slow and serious and methodical, and that makes it special because it stands out. It's not the same as everything else. Currently, there are several other Star Wars movie projects in various stages of development, including a rumored movie from Sean Levy based on Lando Calrissian. I hope that movie does not get made, because that would be... I don't trust Sean Levy with Star Wars. I don't want to watch a rated R movie, and I don't want a Star Wars movie to ever be rated R. I don't think Disney will do that, but nobody thought they would do it with Marvel either. So, I just don't trust that existing. I don't want that to really exist. A Lando movie sure would be cool. The guy who played Lando did a great job in the Solo movie. What's the story? Lando has a blank slate backstory, so that could actually be incredible if you get a good writer. On the other hand, Sean Levy, I don't really trust. I'm not going to trust him with Star Wars. So they announced a new trilogy. We don't know what it's going to be about. What we do know is that it's going to exist and it's written by Simon Kinberg. They don't have a script. I feel like you should announce stuff before you have a script. So that's all I have to talk about here. That's all of my thoughts. So make sure you subscribe, tell me who Simon Kinberg is. What did he make, the good X-Men ones or the bad X-Men ones? I'll see you next time. Farewell, friends.